Okay, so now we're going to look at the busiest shelf on my grow shelf. So in the corner here is the Cat Lea that I purchased as the RLC Arachai Miko Volcano Queen. But when she bloomed this beautiful pure white with just a hint of yellow in the lip. And I believe it is the RLC Hawaiian Song Virgin. If you can confirm or if you can ID this one for me, you can leave that in the comments below. I would appreciate that. But her scent is it's a very floral scent, but it's like a mixture of sweet roses. If you're in the United States, or I don't know if they sell double knockout roses internationally, but if you've ever smelt a double knockout rose, it has that scent faintly with jasmine in the forefront, if that makes any sense. But she smells absolutely divine, and she is a beautiful, beautiful bloom. And she has 3 growths that she's working on. This one here is this the loose berry? I just think these blooms are so pretty, and on the camera it makes it look a lot more pink. It's actually really, really purple, especially this lip. All right, and then in front of her, well, beside her, in front of her, is an Encindium Twinkle White Showers. Again, a recent acquisition with 5 growths that all look like they're going to mature around the same time. And I'm thinking, do these grow well on mounts? Can you let me know down below? I've kind of gotten conflicting information because I do want to obviously repot it because the moss that's in there is a little old. And I'm pretty sure it's acidic, and with all those new growths, there's going to be some new roots coming along. So I am going to repot in moss perlite and probably a little bit of fir bark for the aeration, because I found that the Encindiums do really well with that blend here in my environment. But I was thinking to perhaps put a piece on a mount just to kind of see what it does. So if you guys have any experience with that, if you could just let me know, and whether it's a good idea or no, Trish, just leave it in a pot. All right. Back there we have our Dianeschmitzuwalinae crossed with, I'm not sure, no, let's see, crossed with serum. Okay, there we go. According to the tag, it's going to be orange. So if this nobly ever blooms, then it should be orange. Then in front here we have the BLC Fort Watson Mendenhall that is finishing off this growth here. And I know that looks really bad. I'm not sure what that was, but I'm thinking it's just a sheath because it's going to peel off. But she does have a second one right there that looks really good, actually. So we are, again, probably about a year or 2 off from blooming, but as long as she's continuing to put out new growth and staying healthy, that is always good. And then we have our BLC Dewey Forest Kudos here that is working on that beautiful growth right there, and look at all those beautiful roots, as well as look at those beautiful growing tips. Nothing to show really in the pot as far as new roots. That's an older root right there, but she is producing them, and that is always a good sign. Next to her we have our Presidium Golden Gammon White Knight that has finished off this growth here, and just look at the roots on this one. Oh my goodness, just everywhere. And then she's got this, whoops, sorry, I guess it would help if I showed them to you instead of just a pot. But she does look like she's trying to work on a new growth right there. So we will wait and see on that. And next to her, well, behind her rather, we have our Epicelelia Cat Lea Volcano Queen Red Lava. And her first blooming, she's gonna have 8 blooms. From what I understand, you can get up to 30 blooms on here. There is a mild fragrance, but you really have to get close to her to smell it. But she's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy that this bloomed correctly. Next to her, we have our Brassiolelia Little Stars that has just growth growing everywhere. And I did count, there looks like there's going to be like 1 or 2 spikes. I don't know if they'll go ahead and bloom or not, but we shall wait and see. Back here we have the Sherry Baby number 3, which is from the back bulb. I kind of moved her over here into more light to see if I can encourage that growth to kind of, I don't know, develop a little bit more. Here we have the other Dendrobium Phalaenopsis. and I'm not sure, but look at all the roots down there. And I'm hoping to get a bloom because this is the one that had the bloom on it, so I'm hoping to get a bloom off of this one here. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And then we have our little soft clouds that I mounted. This is my first attempt at a mount. She is finishing off that leaf to the right, that's kind of wanky looking, but she has new roots all there, and then she's got them coming in the back. So she's pretty happy there. And then we have our, what is this, a Wilsonera leatherberry, Martian leatherberrylicious, there we go. But this one here had a bad rotting bulb on it that I took off a few months ago, and the two growths that you see on either side of the middle bulb there were really small. So that one that's on the left is maturing a lot quicker. The one on the right stopped for a little bit, started a new growth of its own, and now it looks like it's trying to develop a bulb. So hopefully one of them will bloom. If not, then I can wait because I did, you know, disturb her. I did cut her up pretty good, and then she's trying to recover. Next to her we have Big Mama. Big Mama is the RLC Chia Lin Golden Super. Recently repotted her into this clay pot. She sat for a day or so. I say a day or so, it's probably about a week, but she is working on that new growth there. Let me just slide around here so we can really see her. She is working on that new growth back there. You see it? As well as kicking out some new roots. So she's going to be just fine in there. And leaves have not objected or anything. Next to her, in front of her, we have Sherry Baby number 2, who, let me just scream around here real quick, is got this nice growth here. But again, I'll do an update on my Sherry Babies later on this month. And then we've got the BLC Dick Smith Paradise with this growth here. And we have a bloom. Look how beautiful. And this one has a smell of magnolias. Like I said in my unboxing video of this, I grew up in Louisiana, from Germany, but moved here when I was 5, and bulk of the time was in Louisiana. State flower is the magnolia, and I think it just smells amazing. Oh, it's so, so pretty. In addition, she has another growth right behind this one that is almost mature, so hopefully we'll get another bloom soon and more magnolia smells. All right, so now let's go down to the shelf here. So this is the third shelf on the growing shelf. So this is my Dendrobium Love right here. And she is just, I just love this. So this little small, let me turn around maybe the other way. Yeah, see this little small stalk? Well, that's what I got her with one other one that's already died off. And then she grew this one here, and then this one, which is a little bit bigger, and now this one here, which is even a little bit bigger. For what I've read and researched, this is a compact dendrobium, so it's not supposed to get big, but she looks like she's gonna get to be a pretty decent size, so we'll have to be watching that to make sure, because she's getting really close to the top of that shelf. Here we have our Cat Lea, which is a Brassiolelia Cat Lea, Willette Wong, the best, crossed with BLC Onse Mendenhall. She is the one that produced the little cakey that nothing happened with, but has produced several new growths back here. Matter of fact, we are finishing off this growth right here, and I believe, yes, and then we have a new growth right there, as well as just root explosion everywhere with nice root tips. You see that little root right there? That is so cute. I just love to watch new roots grow. I just think it's amazing to see. And then back here we have another Encindium Twinkle. This one is the Fragrant Fantasy. I believe it is also going to be white. It's a little bit smaller. It was grown from seedling as well, and it's only got one new growth on it. And then here is the Harriella Granola. But do you guys see this? Let me zoom in real quick. I have a spike here, and if I can get really really close in. I believe we have another spike there. So let me pull her out real quick and let's just look here. Do you see those? That is amazing. So hopefully those are spikes. They're not roots. They haven't opened up to be leaves. So I'm assuming it's a spike. Here is the BC Hippodomia. So the three growths are doing really well. There are no new roots growing yet, and I have decided that once I do see new roots, I don't know why I was going to call them roots, I'm going to go ahead and repot her into a lower pot, just because, again, she's getting really close to the top there. Here we have a Crassulia margin. Well, there's the tag. I can't say all that. I just thought this was so pretty with the red on it. And this is one that if it continues to get that brighter light, it does have that sun stress, and I just think that's so pretty. All right, and then here is the Sophronides Ceruna. Let me turn it around. Actually, let me just take her out real quick. But if we look, her new growth is going really nicely, and look at that juicy root. Roots to me are always a great sign. Like, I love to see new roots on plants. And then this one here is the BLC Fritz Nicholas Spring Dance that has finished off the one new growth right there and is working on another growth here. Now, the root production on this one isn't as extensive as the other one, but she has roots, and that's what matters. And back here, we have our Phalaenopsis Tadia, Little Pretty, crossed with Zumas Pixie. That is, I'm gonna say, fully recovered, because working on her second new leaf, as well as all of these roots in this pot. So I think she is ready to go. I'm hoping for a bloom spike on her because she has absolutely beautiful flowers. All right, and then on the bottom shelf, if we can get to it here, we have our sad little story back here. I don't know if this is gonna make it or not. I spritz those roots every day, as well as make sure that the media is moist but not wet, if that makes sense. And here we have my white, there's where the rest of that bark went. I had knocked over one of the Cat Leas earlier, and I was like, where'd all the bark go? Well, there it is. All right, but this is the white lacy African violet. She has a bloom spike, where is it? That she has just like refusing to bloom. It's been there, right there, do you see it? Right down there. That has just been sitting there for a few weeks and has not gotten any bigger. And I guess she's just like mad at me because I moved her, but she'll be all right. And here we have what I thought was an Echeveria, but I believe it's actually an Aloe. So if anyone can confirm that for me down in the comments below, that'd be great. But I love the way she grows. Look at this. Is that not just gorgeous? I got her about a year ago, and she was just this little tiny little thing, and now look how big she is. All right, now back here is another Nepenthes, and it is producing cups, and I do the same thing with it. I spray it once or twice a day, and it's doing well. And I feel like the one in the window gets more light than this one, so I'm gonna maybe bring that one down here. I have two little barnacle babies. I did separate the one barnacle plant, and there's two of the babies there. There is my No ID baby Pink Cloud that I'm still waiting on a keiki. She's just producing roots, which is okay. Then, oh, my little sad story here. This is my RLC, oh, let me see. You know what, I'm not even gonna give the name, I'll just put it up top. But this is the one that I had in a hanging basket, and since February, and has done nothing. So I was like, you know what? Let me take her out there, put her in something smaller. So if you can see all that moss in there, well, that is right underneath all of that bark to kind of encourage some humidity in there, to maybe encourage her to do something, because she's on her way out the door as well. And then we have another no ID Cat Lea with white blooms that just hanging out, And then we have this one. This is kind of a community pot of a Lindodon and the no ID begonia. It was just two little pieces that I decided to put in a pot together just to kind of see what it would look like.